Delftcast, plugging you into the future, where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now. Where verse meets meta.
Welcome to Devcast.
You were going to sing along to the song, weren't you, Wendy?
I was. Where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse. It is kind of catchy and it does grow on me. So hello everybody. Now we have check. Santa's here. Check. I am here. Check. I think I've even turned on the right microphone. So with
Hey.
there's not going to be any complaints about my audio this time, but we'll see how that goes. You may have also noticed that we are not live today in a change to the usual procedure. We're giving a pre-record a go. Just so we can try and launch this out at a time that's a little bit more convenient for you guys over the other side of the pond, because we know that UK hours aren't necessarily good for you. So we're going to give it a go and see what happens. Sam, how are you?
Might be better, it might be worse. Who knows?
It could be shit. I mean, it's always a bit shit, but it's just, grades of shit, really, isn't it? How are you, Sam?
Yeah.
How are you going?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. As you can see, I'm not in my regular location. I'm currently on the terrace of the property that we've got down in the south of France that we're in because of my school move for my daughter. So we're down here, and I'm trying to temporarily do it on tethered. So who knows if the phone connection goes off, I might drop out. But yeah, we're trying to do a devcast in a completely different style today. Hopefully it'll be back to normal in the future, or not, because maybe it's better this way. We'll find out.
Experimental. That's just the name of the game, really.
Yeah. Cool. So we've got a lot of things to talk about, and maybe not so much as we thought, or not. I don't know. What's the deal?
Well, let's just jump right in and stuff. So I'll first of all go in with the new storefront that came out last week. It's been great to see you guys using it and chatting around and seeing all the huge potential that is offered. So for a reminder, for those who aren't up to speed with things, we released the first in a huge long list of storefronts that we've got coming out. And they are awesome. All of them are absolutely amazing. Why? Because they've got the technology to change the wallpaper and the floors. They've got the little browser buttons. And this is great because you can send users in there. Yeah. Bang, 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 bang away, and you can get them to open up your website, your contact page, your buy my products now page, my send me money page. You can even, as has been pointed out, send users straight to the locations. This is another little kind of tip for you guys wanting to explore ways to use this. Many of you have realized that these buttons aren't actually buttons. They look like a button, they sound like a button, they feel like a button, but they're not buttons, they are doors. The way we created this workaround is we hooked up the door tech to a button. So essentially does exactly the same things that the doors do, but it looks nice and neat, and it's got a nice different kind of interface to it. So what you can do, as I just said, you can send users to a website, but you can also send them to an apartment. Let's say you're doing an apartment sale, or you want to host something in your galleries, or you want to promote a particular location. You can hook up that button to that location, put a little bit of info on the panel next to it, press the button, and push off they go. So there are so many possibilities with this. It is going to be awesome. And yes, every single one of the new storefronts coming out has these buttons in it. There are 4 in the majority of the templates. There are 8 in the vendor store. The only exception is the Galleria, which doesn't have them in. As I'm speaking, I'm wondering why I didn't put them in, and that may change. It just didn't really fit in with the calmer theme of the room. I may well go and revisit that. So this is very much a moving thing, but they are awesome, and I'm just loving the creativity and the freedom that you guys now have with these storefront options.
Absolutely. And we've already seen a lot of people play around with them, try them out, use them for different things. That's awesome. Got a question for you. I think one that other people are going to come up with. Is there any intention to bring these buttons and panels into the original storefronts or in versions of the original storefronts?
That's a very leading question there, Zan. in terms of can we, of course we can. There's absolutely no reason why they couldn't be brought in. And certainly looking back at the old storefronts now, they're looking a little bit dated, a little bit in need of a makeover. So yeah, there's the space in there to do it. And absolutely, this is the kind of thing that it's a feature that, you know, it benefits you. It is something that will make your areas so much more interactive and usable. So yeah, by all means, this is something that once we get this kind of initial rollout done, we'll go and revise some of the original ones and think, okay, can we now backtrack these features and make them even better still? And the question back at you, San, is there any plan to apply the You Choose tech back in those original storefronts?
Ooh, I don't know about that. Now that's like maybe crazy talk there. I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see. I think what we need to do is we need to see how people use them, see what comes up, because generally what happens is we implement some technology, we have an idea of how it gets used, and we find out that people use it completely differently. And once we find out how people use it, that gives us more insight on how to use it going forwards, or the sorts of changes that we'd like to see and do. And therefore, yeah, let's give us a couple of months. Let's see how we feel, what we're being used for the others, how it's working, what people are calling out for, what they need they haven't got, and then take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, you just, you know, hit it on the head really with the way that this, you know, kind of stuff goes with every single thing we release. It's this roller coaster ride. We think we've got this great little thing. It does X. You come back and you've made it done X, B, C, blue, pink, and everything in between. And we're like, how the hell? And you know, even this afternoon, I've been working on a little tweak to the homeroom. I shan't say what or how, but some tweaks to it. And yeah, I was in there thinking, hang on a sec, I think I know what they're going to try and do here. So I've been trying to test the hell out, thinking, I think they're going to try and do this. I think they're going to try and change that, just to see if I can in any way predict how you guys are going to react. I know I haven't. I know there'll be stuff that I've missed, but it makes it fun. It makes it interesting. It's great to see how other creative minds work, other loophole finding minds work. And yeah, it creates challenges. It means that we have to then rework stuff, but it's fun and it's great. And seeing that creative process, seeing all those different minds come together to make this kind of almost living object that just changes and that you know, really is bent forcibly to your will. It's brilliant.
Isn't that what the coders say you do to their code?
Well, it is. I mean, you know, it's a little, you know, in a joke here that we often have. You know, when I first started, as many of you guys know, I had zero experience or past in game design, in level design. You know, I didn't know what polygons were. I didn't know what budget was. I had no idea of the concept that a room could be too expensive or vice versa. So I took Chris's code and I ran with it, and I thought, right, yeah, let's shove this and shove this and shove this in. And the biggest example of this is the InfiniHub, that kind of floating, slightly kind of spaceshipy gallery thing. Anyone looking at that, you will see, looking at the ceiling, looking at the railings, to create those, I bent that code in ways that seriously Chris did not even consider could be done. And we had these two reactions from Chris and Sam when they saw it. Chris was like, what the hell have you done? And Sam was like, what the hell have you done? and it was that kind of beginning to break the boundaries of someone coming in with a completely fresh take on stuff.
Yeah, because I did the first rooms for the planetarium, and I was restricted by Chris telling me I could only do X, Y, and Z. So I was completely limited. And then when you came in and did the InfiniHub, I was like, oh my God, I should never have listened to Chris. This is awesome. Why did I limit myself?
You probably can actually chart the history of multiverse through the rooms. If you start off, I think, yeah, the planetarium entrance room, the Jupiter lobby, I think, were the very first two. You start there, and then you can chart your way through and see the evolution of the rooms and how they've gradually become more and more complex and more involved and different as time goes on, right to the very, very more recent ones, which we just throw everything in there. So like, what the hell? Why not? Chris is gone. We know how we want now.
Chris is gone. You can't slap us around anymore. We're now looking at when's the next one coming out?
The next one is coming out on Friday, and this is going to be the first of the
Woohoo.
shop series. It's going to be the Camping Outdoors shop. Mega interactive, mega props, mega immersive, and a little tip. Make sure you pop outside.
Yeah, we're going to be updating the discovery menu for the featured list today. Do we have any cool storefronts from the selected ones that people have used that we're going to be adding? Do we know? Has Dora told us about that
You
yet?
can't just
I
throw
think that was
questions
the
at me
goal.
like that. You know, I'm not in charge of the feature list. I'll get
I
Dora on
think
the blur
Dora's-
to find out.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll have to get her on and check, because I'm looking forward to jumping in and hopping around the featured list and finding some cool new storefronts that are using the new tech.
Absolutely. I think, as I said last month or last week, if you want to get your storefront featured, it's easy. The first thing you're going to do is make sure that discovery menu section on the website is filled out. Make sure it's got a banner, make sure it's got an icon, that's a little poster that you'll see. Without those, we can't feature it. Once those are in there, ping us a line, tag Dora, email Dora and say, can you please feature this place? She'll check it out, make sure it fills those requirements, and then shove it up there. And you'll be on that first page feature panel of the discovery menu, which is fantastic exposure. And as everyone knows, being featured is big stuff. So get on there. And
don't also forget to put in some text on the description. That's always a nice little add, because that appears on the discovery menu too.
Yeah,
Cool.
check out what's there already. Check out other banners. Look on Netflix. Look on other things if you want some inspiration for how to make a banner look good. All the Prime videos, the Facebook banners, you can see the professional ones got a lovely image, a little bit of text, draw people in, and that's the way to go. Okay, moving on. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, I was going to say there's a couple of things coming up. We've obviously got more updates to the XP triggers. We've talked about those quite a lot. We're going to talk a little bit more about them. But in the next update to the app, there's going to be a couple of different changes you've got to be aware of. The first is that we're going to see a change to the user rating of the app. And that comes in prep for some changes that are coming in the future, things we can hint at, but we can't tell you everything about yet because it's not 100% defined. But those things, we want to talk about. And then we also want to talk about the fact that the update will be bringing with it some new XP triggers. I know you guys have been hunting for all the current XP triggers, which is awesome. You've been doing tons of different things. We've been tracking it and looking at the numbers, as we said, every day. And then the update to the triggers that's happening we hope this week. We can't say yet, but we're hoping at some point this week, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, depending on whether things go well or not on the code side of fronts. Otherwise, early next week, we are going to be launching the first passive XP triggers, which are XP triggers for users that are doing cool stuff. For example, creators, and how they earn XP when other people interact with their content. So that's something that's really exciting. We're going to be putting those in. We're going to be testing those out. So if you are a creator, you should expect next week to see your XP go up, regardless of whether you're in the app or not.
These passive ones are fantastic because you can't be in VR all the time. You can't be in there all the time. We wouldn't expect you to be, but you do create content that people come in from all over the world, different time zones, to see what you've done. So we want to make sure you get that reward for creating stuff that people want to come see. Now we know there's been a lot of discussion recently on our Discord channel about events, for example, and what is an event? Should you be there for your own event? Is an event that you don't attend still an event? You can't be there all the time. Sometimes you want to host a gallery. You want to maybe launch a video, a premiere of some sort. There's no reason why you do have to be there in person, and certainly the shard limitation and time zone differences make that difficult to do. But with this new passive system, this means that if your event is popular and people do want to be there, even if you're not literally dragging them in through the door, there's still going to be rewards for you for making that good quality popular content. You take their goggles off, go to sleep, wake up next morning, XP.
Exactly. So that's something that we're quite excited to test out. We're expecting that to, like I say, increment the levels of the creators over the coming weeks, and we'll be looking at that in detail. However, With the update, we will see a change to the user rating of the app, and that's something I just want to mention because there are a couple of things that we're working on that aren't happening just yet, but will be happening hopefully in the future, depending on how things go and how the code side of things go. The first is that we are looking to be adding some sort of a random reward system inside the app that has nothing to do with XP levels. Yeah, like there is going to be some sort of weird like treasure or reward treasury thingy majiggy. Exactly, it's going to be awesome. So yeah, there's a new thing coming at the moment. I think Ollie has got the first version of it up and running on the dev servers, so we're going to be testing that out internally. When that's ready to go live, we'll be putting it in. It will have limited functionality to begin with, and then over time will increase in functionality, coolness, and rewards. But the whole concept of rewards, which are linked to leveling up, are also going to be linked to these sort of discoverable, huntable, treasurable, reward thingy majiggy fox type stuff.
Vague, Sam.
So yeah, I can't tell you exactly what's going to go on. Can't tell you exactly how it's going to be working in app yet. I can't tell you any of the details, but it does look like we're going to have some sort of random reward box type thing. And as a result of that,
just a tease.
Such a tease. As a result of that, because of the way that the legislation around the world works, that has an impact on our user rating. So we are going to have to increase the user rating from where we are 3 at the moment to a higher user rating. And as a result of that, we're also looking at the content filters. We've had a little bit of feedback from some people that they're too harsh. I know that, for example, the Halloween world or horror world group were upset that they weren't able to put in costumes that had blood on their face and stuff like that. We're looking at how we can increase and increment the content rating without, or the content filters, without removing the ability to filter content. So we don't know exactly how we're going to do that yet. We're still looking into the code side details of what will work, what won't work, what is legal, what is not legal, which countries allow for what, etc., etc., and what meta permit. But within the context of all of that, we're looking at how we can allow users to choose to show content that is otherwise filtered. So you know how if you upload a image that doesn't meet the filter specs and might be a good image, a valid image, let's say one from the Halloween world group or the horror world that want to show their costumes and blood dripping out their mouths or daggers in their backs with a bit of fake blood. All of that stuff triggers the content filter for horror, for violence, and would get blurred. And that unfairly gets blurred, and there's nothing we can do about it. So instead of allowing that to be shown to everybody in case it is something that is adult content, and the content filters do use AI to determine everything from violence to eroticism to other things, those currently get filtered. What we will do is allow a user, for example, to be able to toggle in the settings the ability to show the image that's behind that. So if you do see a blurred image, it will be your choice as to whether or not you want to allow that. We then need to work out whether there has to be some other limit that stops a child going in and changing that setting. Those are some of the things that we're looking into, but that's also why the content rating of the app will be changing in the coming weeks as we put through the next update. So it's a little bit exciting. It allows people to do some maybe more risque stuff, which there is a valid use for and isn't always bad. So from that point of view, I think we can see some new things coming as well. Does that mean that we're going to have a risque storefront, Wendy?
What, you mean Pornhub?
You said it.
Who's going to be the first? Who's going to be the first to make one?
But yeah, the idea is definitely that that sort of stuff will be possible, and it will be getting down to users. So again, one of these things that we're trying to do.
My shop series. Should I add a sex toys shop to my shop series? I'm sure I could.
I think maybe that might be taking it too far. I don't know. Let's see how it gets adopted first. But yes, the idea is very much to put the controls into your hands. We don't want to be the ones that are restraining you from doing various different things, apart from where we have to. And if we can allow it to be something where you can upload the content, and then it's the choice of the user whether or not they want to see that content, but defaulting to blurred unless otherwise toggled off, that's probably the right way to go. So in theory, those two things should be coming over the coming weeks. And again, no promises about when, how exactly it's going to work, whether it's going to work to the description that I've just given, etc., etc. All of that still up in the air, but we're working on trying to get that out soon.
Yeah, and this reflects the kind of idea that we've always had about, you know, if you're comparing ourselves to the internet, you know, wanting to be the internet of the future, you know, the internet doesn't restrict, you know, what you can see. There is all sorts of stuff out there, good and bad, extreme, non-extreme. It's out there for users to apply their own filters and, you know, view what they want to see. But if you want to post it, and if that is your bag, then, you know, you find that niche area and you enjoy it among the community of other people with like interests. You know, it's not filtered, it's not prevented from your ISPs. It is fully allowed to be there. So, you know, this is a step towards how we view the multiverse, the metaverse, it being a place where, you know, users can put what they want and be free to enjoy their own interests without a governing body, a regulator, us or someone else, saying, you know, no, you can't do that. You know, we're all consenting adults. You know, you enjoy what you want to enjoy, and we want to make sure that everyone can really, you know, go along in that same way the internet lets you do.
Yeah, again, as long as it's legal and permitted by the Meta Store. So those are the sorts of things that we're working on, again, in the background, that aren't related to everything. But the reward loot box thing, which is part of the content filter, the content rating change, is, oh, I did say, no, I didn't say that, did I?
I did just hear you say something there, Sam.
I didn't say anything. Anyway, we can skip over that. The that technology is going to be providing rewards, and those rewards are going to be also extra rewards that will be available to the users that level up. So at the moment, we've announced that there is going to be a MetaCoin award associated with leveling up. So when you get go up a level, you will be awarded a certain number of MetaCoin. Again, we've not nailed down the numbers yet. We're working on those things, but we have got the concept of rewards in general. So it's not just MetaCoin that we would be handing out when you level up. We will be handing out tasters of some of the rewards that you might be able to find in these random boxy reward thingies that are going to be floating around somewhere out there. So the idea is that as you level up, you will get rewards, and those rewards will scale with your subscription. We've already mentioned that. We've defined the number that we're looking at, the numbers we're thinking about. But one of the issues that we've had is there are ways to hack that. There are ways to, for example, get onto a much higher subscription early on, level up massively, earn a whole load of MetaCoin and other rewards, and then desubscribe and move on. That's not obviously how we want to allow it. And then we've got to work out something that feels fair also for the users that have been subscribed for a long period of time. So what we're looking at, and again, this isn't confirmed, we're working on the code right now. We're looking at whether it's possible to do and how it's possible to do and what we can do from a rewards point of view. But we want to scale the rewards with the subscription tier over time. So you start with a lower reward, and the longer you subscribe, the bigger the reward gets. What that does, though, is if we can do this, and we're hoping we can, no promises, but we're hoping we can technically, if we can do this, we will make that backwards compatible so that users that have been on these higher subscription tiers from the get-go get the bigger rewards straight off the bat. They don't need to be subscribed for X period of weeks or months, whatever it is, to get the full rewards. They will get those full rewards from day one because they have been subscribed with us for the past months, years, etc. So just to reiterate, because that is something that is a little bit complex to get your head around, I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown, one that Wendy and I have been discussing independently, trying to make sure that we understand what we're talking about. But there are reward multipliers that increase over time. These are there to encourage long-term subscriptions and higher subscription tiers, as well as reward the current subscribers. You guys that have been subscribing with us for years and months, you guys will be rewarded by this system from the get-go, assuming we can deliver that tech on the tech side. There will be a higher tier XP and reward multipliers applied to both your XP and the rewards based upon your subscription tier. So the higher your subscription tier, the higher the rewards. But those rewards will also grow month on month to a limit. So there is going to be a ceiling, but you will grow from day one towards that ceiling. And if you have previously been subscribed with us for long enough, you will start at that ceiling straight off. So you will get the top tier rewards from day one. Is that making sense, Wendy, or am I?
It makes virtually no sense, but that is, the joy of it. So don't worry, it is complex. We know that there's lots of aspects to this. There's lots of facets to it that we are working through as carefully as we can, as detailed as we can. But it is, there's a lot of detail there. And I know we're running through it. We're being purposefully vague on things we have to be vague on, too much detail on things we already know about. Don't worry, we are going to be releasing more information at the time. We'll be doing, tutorials, guides, explanations, anything that's needed to make sure it's fully and clear. So don't worry if it's all like, rewards, XP, boxy what's. It's going to become clear in time. All we're doing now is just sharing with you the process we're going through, and giving you a taster of the kind of things to come. So I guess the key takeaways are XP, rewards, subscriptions, and they all link together. So the more you do, the more you get. I guess that's our tagline. There you go. I've done it. The more you do, the more you get.
That's awesome. But yeah, you simplified everything I said down to something that's communicable to the masses. So I think that I shall just step back and let you take control of everything from now on, because, hey, you got it. No, the other thing to be clear on is we are also looking at ways to reward people with multiple subscriptions. So as we've mentioned, the highest subscription tier that you have is going to be the definer for the number of rewards you'll get. However, we are looking to be able to find a way that allows us to reward people who have multiple subscriptions. We did a little look into our database and checked, because we wanted to make sure that that wasn't just one or two people. But it turns out about 30% of the users that we have are on multiple subscriptions, and we want to reward people for being on those multiple subscriptions. So we're going to look into a way that will tie that in as well. So again, the more you've got, the more you do, the more we'll reward you with that sort of train of thought. That feeling is what we're going to go with, and that's what we're pushing from the code side. All of this is dependent upon actually technically being able to do it, especially for the backwards compatibility side of things. But we are absolutely hoping that that will be able to be there day one, and that day one will be there soon. So if you are thinking about upgrading, or you're waiting to upgrade until you find out, you don't have to. You're obviously welcome to, but you don't have to. If you upgrade now, you will benefit from the upgrade that you've taken today on the day that it goes live, by having a higher reward system in place on day one when you go in.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Question for you, Sam.
Pardon?
I have a question for you.
Oh, go on. Give me a question.
So I can hear you just thinking, well, that's all great. I've made my stores. I've got my metaverse. I've got my XP. I've got my passive stuff going on. That's brilliant. But people come into the app, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. How can we help those users join this mega community, become themselves OGs, not an exclusive club? Anyone can join. How's that going to happen? How the hell are we going to get people, working out what to do?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good question. And we think we have the answer. So we've been looking at that. We've been looking at the process of onboarding. We've been looking and tracking. Part of the whole XP system that Stephen did was to track people through the tutorial phase and into the app, where they go first, what they do first. And we're looking at all of those things to work out if there's any extra hand-holding we can do, and how we can tie that together with what we're calling a task system. Now, a task system is not a particularly sexy name for it, but it gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're looking at. We're looking at a way to be able to give people a to-do list, a set of tasks, quests, whatever you want to call it, but things for people to do from day one. As soon as they enter the app, give them a defined list of go here, do this, and you will be rewarded. This is how you progress to the next level. At the moment, you go into the app and you might find that there's level scores above people's heads, and you're like, oh, that's cool. What level am I? Oh, I've got a level. What do I do to go up a level? I don't know. You just walk around. Oh, I went up a level. So you do random things and you end up going up a level or not. depending on what goes on. That isn't very helpful. That isn't very friendly. That isn't very user friendly. We want to make it much more user friendly. We want to hold the hands of the users that are coming in, the new users that don't understand what a metaverse is, what's going on, why there's apartments around the world, what is the Infiniverse, what are these landmarks, what's going on, what's the planetarium, what's Zombie Town, what's the...
in my road.
Yeah, exactly. Well, will there be a
And
carrot in the road? That's another question to discuss in a little bit. But yeah, what we're looking to do is to extend the tutorial into a task system, or a system that allows people to know, well, this is the next thing that we recommend you do. And if you do that, you will be rewarded with XP, MC, or other rewards. So these are the sorts of things that we're looking to add over the coming weeks and months. Again, this is more of a long-term thing, so don't expect this in the next couple of weeks or so. But we are looking to try and find out, how can we bring tasks into the app, and how can those tasks help users get on board with it, help users know what to do next, know where to go, and have a sense of what this whole multiverse, metaverse, Infiniverse thing is. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it raises the interesting discussion of tutorials in general. I mean, certainly the tutorial that we have, you know, certainly as many of you will know who've been with us from the start, that was designed based on the planetarium. So the tutorial, you press a green button, planetarium's full of green buttons, you walk around a little bit, you can walk around a little bit, and that covers the original things that you need to do. And we've been aware for quite some time now that it doesn't really cover all the actions. And tutorials, you know, it's a very common game language, but games do it in very, very different ways. Some of them, it's very clear. You go into your tutorial level and you have to complete it. Now, I remember when we played one of the early Tomb Raider versions, you had to go into little kind of like obstacle course to practice a jump and a run and a land and a spin. And I failed miserably, and I couldn't even get past the obstacle course. But, you know, it very much, that was obvious what you were doing. Other ones, you start playing and you're not even aware that you're going through a tutorial. You're guided subtly to, oh, I wonder what this is. Why don't you press a button X to find out? So it's a very common thing in games, and how you do it, and how you show people the ropes. And the ones that are done well, you know, get those users fully versed, if you'll forgive the pun, you know, in what to do quickly and efficiently, and a way that makes them want to do more of it. So this is what we're trying to incorporate, that kind of game language, that's standard process into multiverse.
Exactly. So, for example, and this isn't necessarily how it would work out, but you come through the tutorial, you end up in Grand Central, and rather than just being left in Grand Central, which is currently what happens, you're told turn off safe mode, and then you're left in Grand Central, and you're sort of like, go explore. And there's like 1 million places in Multiverse, and I'm not kidding, over 1 million locations, individual rooms, home rooms, apartments, metaverses, all of these things, over 1 million of them across Multiverse. That is a little bit overwhelming, and a little bit, you know, just left to your own devices to go and explore. So what we want to do is we want to give people then the ability to look at their wristwatch and have a task list and let them choose. So they can continue to explore, they can go do whatever they want, they can meet up with some people, they can go join some friends, or they can just, you know, dawdle around and do whatever they want to do. Or they've got this permanent, always on list in their wrist menu that tells them, why didn't you go do this? Why didn't you go visit one of the storefronts that's featured on the discovery menu? Why don't you go to one of these landmarks? Why didn't you go to Infiniverse and explore it and buy a property? Why didn't you do X, Y, and Z? And that process, we're hoping, is going to help people get a sense of how vast, complex, and, you know, content-rich Multiverse is, and hopefully also increase the XP that you guys all earn passively from the destinations that we send them to.
Yeah, so exciting stuff. We're really hoping to just change the face of things, and to really mix it up. And again, it's all tied in, because who knows, we might even have thought of a way to link that task list into all the other stuff, into the XP and the subscriptions and the rewards. It's like it was preordained somehow, this mega plan. I mean, it really wasn't. It was cobbled together in this kind of, you know, back room. But nevertheless, it's all linked together, and it's all going to be seamless.
Hopefully you won't even notice. That's the idea. So yeah, I mean, we're hopefully getting into a place where users will be onboarded and directed to locations that are of interest, locations where other users are, locations where they start earning XP. Those XP points give them levels. The levels give them rewards, including Metacoin. And rather than just showing up in Infiniverse and randomly having 500 Metacoin in your wallet, you'll actually earn Metacoin as you level up, and you'll be told how to do that. And you'll be guided as to doing X, Y, and Z through the process. And in that process, you'll end up learning how big and vast multiverse is and all of the various different things it has to offer. So yeah, that's generally the idea of what we're looking to do, and that is all the work that's in progress at the moment, I think, at least the stuff that we can announce. But as you can see, we're not sitting here doing nothing, although I am on the terrace in the sun. The app is definitely moving forward, and we are in the process of trying to get as many of these things out to you as soon as possible. Our goal is obviously to have all these things out for winter, which is when we expect to see a lot more users coming in. But on the subject of a lot more users coming in, it's not like we don't have that many people joining at the moment, is it, Wendy? There's something about a number of user count and little models or something like that. I can't remember.
I know nothing.
You know nothing.
I don't know. I think I'm going to disappear into the background. There we go.
That's a Homer move.
I can't make myself. There we go. Gone.
Gone. Yeah. So yeah,
professional.
We're in the process of tracking the number of people that have joined the XP trial, and so far we are closing in. I think actually I haven't checked the last couple of days, but I think it's around 8,000, so we're 80% of the way there, and we just need another. Probably this weekend we'll probably hit it, and I think next week we'll be in a situation where, yeah, Wendy is desperately behind the times on getting these new updates out.
I've been busy. I've been working hard.
What is it we've got? Any hints? Any teasers?
Well, it depends very much on having recorded this video, how much time, effort I can put into post-production, whether I can suddenly go bing and there'll be a little sneak peek. So either I'm waving at nothing right now, or you'll see a little sneak peek video or image appearing. It depends how much time I can really put into this. But yes, so I've been working hard on the new statues. We've got the full set has been selected. The full set has been animated and tested in app. They're looking good. They're looking snazzy. Yeah, they're looking different.
So if you want a screenshot of the pizza box, it's probably like high time you went out and got one.
Yeah, your pizza, your carrot, your hot dog, your sushi,
banana.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it will be sad to see the sushi go from the art district. That's how I always oriented myself to know I was in the art district. There's early days and we couldn't tell left, right, and up and down and center. But no, it's going to be fun. It's going to give, you know, another layer to the place. And who knows, we may release the original set as a little kind of a bonus edition limited set, so you can plonk your old burger and fries back.
Banana and a massive carrot, so we can have the carrot banana wars, but with like giant ones.
That can be arranged.
That could be arranged.
Yeah,
cool.
we
are doing it randomly, though, aren't we?
So say that again.
We're not letting people choose where these things go. They are randomly distributed across Infiniverse, right?
Yes, so anywhere that currently has one of the original food statues, so that's your burger, banana, your cookie, your melon slice, your carrot, your corn, your donut, your teapot, your wine bottle, all those ones, the original food statues, anywhere that currently has one of those, that model will just get switched. Every carrot will change the same thing. Every hot dog will change to the same thing. So that is simply how it's going to work. If you've already overridden one of your food statues with something else, it won't come back. This includes both the individual statues on smaller plots and also the larger ones on the larger kind of field size district plots. So simply about any of the original statues will get replaced straight out. Yeah, so you don't need to do anything. Don't need to change anything. They will simply ping into place. We'll obviously launch it with a few bells and whistles on to let you know when it's going to happen, and give you enough notice to go and walk down memory lane. I may think of some little homage to the old one somehow to keep them in somewhere in some form, so they can still be visited. A little I don't know, museum of archive footage somehow. And yeah, there's always a possibility we could re-release those original ones. If you are desperate to put one back, we'll put it in as an option. You can stump them back down again. But they're a great little set. They're funky, they're quirky, and I'm pretty pleased with how they're looking. Right, just had a San, are you back with us? We're having a few issues there with San's internet, so apologies for that one. Again, I might just cut that out in post editing. I might just freeze him for the entire time and talk myself. So let's just give that a minute or two on the statues front. Yeah, we haven't yet got a date for that, but do keep an eye on the discovery menu and on the events list. That's where you will be seeing it first, for details of when the change will happen. And as with the other releases, you'll simply go into Infiniverse, and they will all be there for you. So, folks, we seem to have lost San. As he said, he's on a tethered connection down south of France, which is not very reliable. He's going to try joining the meeting again, and see if we can get that back in to finish off the rest of the devcast. So yeah, another thing that you can see is a brand new little area that came out live this week. So all of you who love our cinema rooms can now enjoy them all in one handy little place. Head over to Grand Central and you will see the cinemas door. Now, when you go through that door, you'll head into a new room, which we have called the Cinema Foyer. Cool little quirky room. And as you head down the stairs into the little main area, you'll see 4 doors. One door goes to our outdoor cinema, one door goes to our NASA Live, one door goes to our Stonehenge cinema, and one door goes to our NASA Video Hub. Now, what is in each of these places? So the Stonehenge cinema, let's start off with that. We have a background video playing of some amazing footage from the actual site over in Wiltshire here in the UK. That room is also used twice a year. Its key purpose is to live stream the summer and the winter solstice. We have San back again to live stream the solstices from Stonehenge. So anyone who loves watching that can go and see those live. The NASA Live room is now being used to play the monthly What's Up series from NASA. This is a stargazing report from NASA they do every month to appeal to all you stargazers out there to show what is happening up in the stars and the skies this month, whether it's an eclipse or a meteor shower or some other form of astronomical event even, then head over to NASA Live Room to see that. It also is used to show any live events. So launches coming up this weekend. There is a live news conference from Butch Wilson and Butch Mitchell and Suni Wilson, who are the stranded astronauts on the ISS. They'll be streaming a live news conference, and that will be shown in our NASA Live Room. The third room is the NASA Hub. This is been there since day one. NASA Video Lobby. It's 5 small little screens, each showing a 5-minute video from NASA about some of the most amazing things they're doing. So there is footage of the first ever all-female spacewalk. There's news about the Ingenuity helicopter from Mars. There is news about the Psyche asteroid mission. So head over there and see the little snippets. There's also a weekly video, which is called Space to Ground, which is a weekly roundup of stuff from the International Space Station as it flies over our heads. And finally, the 4th room in that amazing cinema foyer is the outdoor cinemas. It's our mega outdoor cinema, a huge giant screen, which we use to show other key live streams like the Thanksgiving parade or other key celebratory events. Now, another important thing to note is all of these rooms can be hired for free. If you have a major event that you think is worthy of an outdoor cinema or something over in the NASA Live room, then just drop us a line. There's a little form we can fill out with the information that we need, and you can host your stuff in these rooms, get it featured, get people in for a true wow factor. And wow, we have Sam back. Anyway, Sam, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's good. One of the things I absolutely love is the ISS, and the fact that it flies around the Earth in 45 minutes is utterly mind-boggling. So that's one of those pieces of information that sits in my head, and whenever I look up and see it in the night sky glittering in the starlight, it's always amazing to think that travels around the Earth in 45 minutes. Sadly, we don't have that in Multiverse accurately, but we do have the ISS up there over Earth, and one of the coolest rooms in the planetarium. Absolutely awesome. Definitely one of my favorite spots to go and just look at the views in Multiverse.
And it also has a live feed in there. There is a live 24/7 feed from the ISS. So it's just a constant video stream of looking out and seeing the Earth below and seeing what's going on. So that is worth just a little time out to sit and look and see.
Exactly. Okay, I think we talked about everything that we had on the schedule that was essential to talk about. Is there anything that we haven't mentioned? I think that was it, wasn't it?
I mean, there's always stuff we can natter on forever, really, you and me.
Oh yeah, I got AI to give us a list of things to talk about to fill gaps if we needed it.
No, I think we can call that a day there. Slightly shorter than normal, but I think we've covered a massive amount, so you need to process that. I may be able to, pad this out with a little bit of jingle and other fillers to make it a decent broadcast. So thanks for joining us.
Let us know what you think. Tell us on Discord. Join our Discord. Come and meet with us. Talk to us about content, issues, desires, wishes, etc. there, and let us know whether you prefer the Devcast to be live but at a ridiculous hour, or pre-recorded at a more reasonable hour. Give us some insight info and let us know. Good to see you guys. I might actually be in app right now watching myself and Wendy, so you never know, you might see me around if you go and have a look. But otherwise, catch you guys on Discord and in app and around, and great to see you guys.
See you guys.
Into the future, where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now. Where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now.